Hi, I'm Sydney,
And I'm Alex.
and we were part of Will Grant's Democracy in Action class for the 2011-2012 school year, where we investigated students' connections to the environment. What we found is that Athenian does a lot of cool and progressive things when it comes to being green, and because of that, we call our school environmentally aware. But the truth is that for many students, a real visceral connection to the environment is not being fostered. The goal of the pillar has to do with student involvement, not just campus improvement.
Through talking with students and teachers who have found a personal connection to nature, we know that this is a valuable experience for all students to have. A connection to nature is important for realizing our place as living individuals within a greater living ecosystem. As one student said, "Being alone in nature brings me closer to my humanity." In light of this, we set out to explore the reality of the environmental stewardship pillar and posed this question: how can we get more students connected to the environment at Athenian? The following insights are the key findings that emerged from our research. So our first insight is this. As our interview process concluded, we realized we attained some valuable information. We found that students define the word environment differently, and Athenian students are all using the word environment interchangeably, but to each person, the conversation has a different meaning. The 4 definitions of environment we found are this. 1. Nature, as in our natural physical surroundings. 2. The global climate crisis, which often comes up in symposium. 3. Environmental curriculum within our classes, so biology, the bioswale. 4. Being green, i.e. recycling and composting. From establishing that there are these 4 definitions, we realize that these are all ways people connect to the environment. So the way they define it reflects their ideas and what they've done or would like to do. In order to foster a stronger connection to the environment, we need to have these 4 experiences accessible so that students can discover which medium of connection is best for them.
The next thing we realized is that the way we're introducing students to the environmental pillar is out of order. While teachers work to instill the values of the school in the freshmen, all the young 9th graders get out of it is physical labor. This feeling can be reinforced by what are sometimes dreary and repetitive morning meeting presentations. By now, some students think of the environmental pillar as just physical labor and outside speakers. For some students, AWE finally establishes a meaningful connection to the natural world, but at this point, there's only 1 year for them to share this with the school. Such a short time is not enough to contribute all they have learned to the community. Ideally, this process would be in reverse, where the beginning of an Athenian education would include immersive experiences designed to help freshmen develop a personal connection to nature. Once they reflect on these experiences and deepen their love of nature, they can finally see the value in preserving the natural world, which is the pillar. The role of seniors would then be to mentor the freshmen on this journey, since they had already gone through it themselves. After all, we naturally yearn to protect and improve the things we care deeply about.
Our third insight is this. There are many different ways to foster a connection to nature, just like there are many different ways to teach students. Through interviews, we determined that the main ways Athenians connect to nature are through 1. Recreation, 2. Immersion, 3. Bonding, 4. Reflection, and 5. Protection. Currently, we have AWE, which could potentially encompass all of those methods of connection, but as Sydney noted, it comes a little late in the Athenian experience, and we would like to foster a relation with nature sooner. Ideally, we would rework existing programs such as freshman orientation to touch upon all these main areas of connection so that each student can find which method of connection best appeals to them. Could be self-evaluation and reflection, or bonding with peers in a natural setting. Eventually, students will be more motivated to be environmental stewards because it means they will be preserving something they love.
Our 4th insight was that the environmental pillar in its current manifestation is seen as taking up our extra time. There is no time built into the schedule for it, nor is credit given, so understandably, students push it to the back burner. In trying to maintain a rigorous curriculum and an economic schedule, we leave little room for sheer appreciation of nature. This has to be worked around.
So looking forward, ideally, this whole progression would be integrated into the curriculum, so that the natural world wasn't something students only learned about out of textbooks, but was actually a place of deeper learning that was complemented by an emotional sense of care. Additionally, we should use the master plan as a way to consider the campus as a place where students experience the environment and have several ways to connect with it.
Ultimately, what we would be looking at is Dyke Brown's original vision of an Athenian student adapted to our current era. If we implement these changes, Instead of simply talking about or ignoring the environmental stewardship pillar, our students would actually be living it.